But
Right.
you know, it's not all about confidence. It's actually probably a hot girl walk, literally, because it's so hot outside, Matt.
I'm telling you, that was kind of the prompting behind me. We've been at 90 degrees basically every afternoon for the past 2 weeks. So that was the prompting today for today's trivia question. By the way, any guesses? No guesses. All right. So.
A choice better. I'm a multiple choice person.
Yeah, and I think most people are the same way. The problem is, I feel like, and I said this before, I feel like it kind of gives it away sometimes. So let's take a look here. Would you believe me if I told you, little Get Smart reference there for you, would you believe me though if I said the latest 90-degree day we had on record in Central Texas was actually on Christmas Eve one year? 1955. We hit 90 degrees on the nose on December 24th, 1955. So again, 90 degrees the day before Christmas. That's pretty late, but it can happen. And I was looking, and we're going to go through even more 90-degree records for the 10 o'clock news tonight. Because I was doing some digging because I wanted to figure some things out, and I'm going to share it with you later on tonight. 90 out there today. Once again, our record 100. That's significant because that's the latest 100-degree day that we have on record, and that happened just last year. Out there right now, 87 in Waco, 86 in Marlin and Temple, 90 in Hearn, 84 there from Goldthwaite up towards Meridian. So again, pretty much same place we've been for the past couple of weeks, and the next few days are going to be no different. Take a look here, right around 90 degrees Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Notice those rain chances start to move in. That's the cold front we've been talking about. We're going to spend some time on that, but before we do so, let's stop at Friday first, because you heard our sports team announce yesterday where our game of the week would be this week. So let's talk about your game of the week forecast. Heading to Lorena, where Gatesville is traveling to take on the Leopards there. And again, with a little more humidity building in towards Friday, it's not going to cool down quite as quickly as it has been here recently. So we're looking at about 82 by kickoff, 80 there as we head towards 8 o'clock. As we get through halftime, things will finally transition from the 80s into the 70s before we drop to about 75 there at 10 o'clock. So again, it's going to be just a little bit warmer by a couple of degrees than the last few weeks, but still fairly consistent out there for your Friday evening. Now, let's talk about that cold front because, again, some things still up in kind of flux here, but for the most part, things are starting to become a little bit more clear. First of all, we are now looking at our models coming to some agreement that it's going to be pretty late Saturday, maybe some afternoon showers possible, but it's primarily going to be after dark on Saturday and into the overnight hours when the front comes through. What is still up in the air here is I showed you this same model yesterday, and it was showing very little in the way of rainfall for the I-35 corridor. You can now see it's kind of bounced back up, and again, with these long-range models, they will go back and forth just a little bit. So let's do some interpretation here. What's the bottom line? Well, the bottom line is basically that if you live west of I-35, you're not going to see a whole lot in terms of rainfall. If you live east of I-35, you're not going to see much there either. It's really into East Texas where the best rain chances are going to be. For us here, from I-35 to the east in Central Texas, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch, just not a lot of rainfall with this particular front coming through. What I can tell you though is we're going to go from that 91 I showed you for Saturday. From there, we're going to fall all the way into potentially the lower and middle 80s for Sunday. So very close to the seasonal norms there before things start to warm up again into the beginning of next week before we start talking about another cold front. And remember, to keep up with your weather, you can download our 6 Plus app. It's free. It's on your smart TV.